independent music source, 91.7 WSGE. This is Sydney Darby, and that was Ashley A. with Summertime. Other artists you heard from include James Taylor, Raphael Sadiq, and Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Independent Artist Spotlight. Today we welcome Heidi Sidelinker, an Americana folk artist from Hickory, North Carolina. She's a singer, songwriter who spent time playing around New York City, touring across the United States and Europe, and also appears here locally. Heidi will be a part of the lineup at the Ramble On Music Festival happening in Davidson, North Carolina, next Saturday, September 20th, at the Car Wash off Main Street. You can find more info at the Town of Davidson website. Welcome to WSGE, Heidi. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Sydney. Appreciate it.
I understand that you were born into a family of music lovers. Who in your family influenced your passion for music the most?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I grew up in Hickory with my father being a band teacher, a musician in the 60s. My mom was a singer. My grandmother sang. There was always music on. It was just a house full of music. So I was just all around lucky enough to have good music playing all the time.
Okay. And you shared that your career started after you found an old classical guitar in a coat closet. I think it was your first year of college, right?
A little bit before that. I was in high school and found my father's old Giannini classical guitar in a closet. And I believe along with a songwriter's book of all the Simon and Garfunkel songs, just the whole discography. And locked myself in the bedroom day after day and after school and on the weekends and taught myself how to play music on that guitar.
All right. And was that what influenced you to start your music career?
I believe at that time it was just really exciting to find something that I loved to do and to be able to create my own music and play songs that I loved. I think Jewel was very popular at the time, and Sarah McLachlan, that was the Lilith Fair years. So there were a lot of really powerful, awesome female musicians, and I could mess around and teach myself how to play the songs that I got to hear on the radio, which was exciting. So I think for me it was just more fun. I wasn't thinking about going into college to become a musician necessarily, but I loved it. So once I got to college and could not find anything else that I loved as much, that's when it circled back around to becoming a career.
And you spent some time on the road during your college years. Can you describe what those early days were like and what they taught you?
Oh, goodness. So I took a long 3-month road trip around the country. I decided it was something that I really wanted to do from a young age. I'm 14, 15. I remember thinking this would just be wonderful to jump in the car and go across the country and, you know, see all the beautiful states that I've never been to and meet new people and go camping. And so I did that. And it was one of the most life-changing experiences for me because it was the sense of freedom and just being out on my own and playing music and sleeping under the stars and really just connecting to myself and nature. And it was the basis for then what led me into playing more music later on in my life.
Would you say that was the most defining time in your music career?
I'm not sure if it was the most defining time, but it was certainly the beginning of something to come, for sure. I think I've had a lot of really exciting memorable things along the way in my music journey, but that was one of the first biggest memories, I guess, and defining moments for me musically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your lyrics are described as transporting and transcendent. Where do you typically find inspiration for your songs?
Through everything. This is really my voice. You know, if I can't find the words to talk about it or whatever it is that I'm going through or whatever it is that I'm experiencing day to day, if I can't vocalize it, it comes into song form. So that's sort of my way of releasing and getting everything out and figuring things out.
Okay. And one of the songs you're going to play for us today is your new song, Cold and Lonely Hill. What was the inspiration behind this song?
Goodness. So this particular song was not really meant to be performed live in my mind. It was more for me. a diary, if you will, to be able to work through feelings of betrayal and I don't know if anger is the right word, but just feelings that I didn't want to keep trapped in with someone that I loved very dearly. So this song is actually a true story. Every word of it is a ballad style song about real life things that happen. So.
Okay, and you're going to play that for us. We're going to hear from Cold and Lonely Hill from Heidi Sidelinker right here on 91.7 WSGE.
Thank you. Muscadine wine in your pantry, liquor bottles in the sink. You're as cold as a sailor at the tavern on your fifth whiskey drink. There's no heat, no running water. Granite quarries done you in. Wrote your songs, you wrote your letters. Tombstones, your only friend. On a cold, lonely hell, nobody knows, and never will. It came out to San Cristobal, saw your church, your Indian friend. The coyotes sang his stories, those songs we'll never hear again. Was always your way or the highway. Sold Granny's land before I grew. Purple hearts forever broken. The roads you traveled ended too. On a cold, lonely hell, nobody knows, they never will. 6 feet down, forever still, nobody knows, and they never will. You were never a believer. Those two women held your hands. 'Cause you still prayed, you begged for comfort in your lives. You died a heathen man. Nobody knows, and
That was Cold and Lonely Hill, performed by Heidi Sidelinker here at WSGE. She'll be performing at Ramble On Music Festival in Davidson, North Carolina on September 20th. You can find more info at Town of Davidson website. Now, Heidi, I understand that you are a mother of two. How has motherhood influenced your music?
Oh, I am a mother of two. I have an 11-year-old daughter named Amelia and a 4, almost 5-year-old little boy named Ronan. Hello, guys. If you're listening, I'm sure they are. I'm very proud of them, and they're wonderful. They're the inspiration for just continuing music in general. There's definitely threads of feelings and inspiration directly from them and my songs, but also just to keep performing music and doing what I love to do. This is my passion and what I'm, really loving about my life as far as work goes. So they are my muse in a lot of ways. To show them they need to follow their heart and continue with what they love to do in their life as well.
Do they show an interest in or a passion in music like you do?
I think very similar to the way that I grew up, where there was always music around, music playing. We were allowed to explore musical tastes and things that we liked. My parents were really wonderful about allowing my sister Noelle and I to listen to whatever we wanted to a certain degree. But yes, I think that they both really appreciate music, and they're both very young still, so I don't know if that'll be the journey that they decide as far as career-wise goes, but we listen to music in the car. They come to my shows. They'll be at the festival, the Ramble On Music Festival, and I just think it's a good thing to sort of have around all the time. Whether or not they pursue a music career or not is up to them, but there's always music playing. We're always singing and dancing, and there's musical instruments galore around the house. So,
how do you balance motherhood and being a full-time musician?
Well, my husband David and I have chosen to homeschool our kids. So the little one is too small. We're doing some preschool stuff, but with Amelia, she's in 6th grade this year. So I'm very lucky and very honored to be able to stay home with them and spend the time with them. There's school, there's playtime, there's just time together in general. So I think that allows me to feel more confident going out in the evenings to play music because I'm able to spend the time with them during the day. If they were in school, it would be a little harder for me to leave in the evenings because they would be coming home and I would be leaving, and then I feel like I'm missing a huge part of their childhood. So I don't feel that way. It's really wonderful, and I'm lucky to be able to stay home with them and teach them, and then pursue my passion in the evenings. So it's a very nice balance right now of getting to, have both, the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and I know a lot of artists, a lot of their regrets is like, I wasn't able to see my child grow up pretty much because they're in school and I'm on the road and I'm touring, and then they have to get babysat by the nanny or a family member. So sure. I think that's a really, really great thing.
It is, and I think I also waited. I didn't meet my husband until I was a little older. I had my daughter at 33, and so I waited for a while, and I was able to do all of the traveling and the touring and going to Europe and playing shows and exploring my passion for that kind of freedom before I had kids. So I got it out early, and I don't mind being home now, and I don't mind being closer to home. It's sort of nice to have that.
Yeah, that's great. I think it's also great just to not have to live with the regret of not being there.
Absolutely. I don't think I could do it in the way that I'm doing it now, and the amount that I play music currently. I don't think I could do that if my kids were in school, because I wouldn't see them, and that's, it's really important for me to be able to spend a lot of time with them. So they're only little for a very short time.
Yeah,
so.
I definitely understand. And you have another song you'd like to share with us. It's called Red in the Wires, and it is being released from mid to late October, I would say. And can you tell us about this song?
Yeah, so this particular song is one of the newer ones. It will, like you said, it will be released in October. The inspiration comes in strange forms, and to be honest, this song was inspired by something very generic, but the meaning behind it is not. So I've been just trying to tap in and explore different ways of writing, and starting with maybe a piano chords or even a garage band type of scenario of just putting some beats down and exploring different ways of writing as opposed to just sitting down at the guitar. Excuse me. And so this song came out of that. That was me just sort of exploring some unique ways of writing. And I happened to look down, and on my Scarlett 2i2 that was beside me, there was a bunch of red wires coming out, and it sparked something in me about, gosh, I don't wear a lot of red. Red is not really my color, but red is sort of the heartbeat of everything, right? It's your blood. And I looked outside, and there was a red bird, and it just all sort of came together. And the meaning of this song is much deeper than the inspiration was. But that's the interesting part about songwriting, is that something very deep for me came out of something very simple. So.
Okay, well, we're ready to hear it. You're listening to the Independent Artist Spotlight. I'm Cindy Darby here with Heidi Sidelinker performing her single Red in the Wires here live on 91.7 WSGE.
I'm a flicker in the sunset's dying glow, a hand-stitched seam where the wildflowers grow. They pave the fields with circuits and steel. Now the rust will take over the wheel. Red in the wires, red in the sky, a spark of something that I can't quantify. I'm the echo of the world left behind. Red in the wires, lost in the lines. These towers hum, but they don't sing true. They drown the crickets' bright neon blue. A threadbare patch on the fabric untold. All the memories long to be told. Red in the wires, red in the trees, the color of hearts and the fall of the leaves. I'm a shadow they can't redesign. Red in the wires, holding the line. There's a color in the darkness of night. When the sun comes up, am I still on your mind? Can't stop the pull of the strings running through, or the love that draws me to you. Red in the wires, red in the steel, the fire burning, machines can never feel. A stubborn ember refusing to die. Red in the wires, a heart's wildfire.
That was Heidi Sidelinker with Red in the Wires, which should be releasing in mid to late October. She'll be performing at the Ramble On Music Festival in Davidson, North Carolina on September 20th. And you can find more info at Town of Davidson website. Now, you've toured across the United States and Europe. What places left the biggest mark on you creatively?
Oh, goodness, all of it. I believe going to Europe was very special to me because I realized culturally how different the acceptance and the love of music can be across the world. And, we met so many people that I felt connected to in Europe through the music. So didn't know them well, only met them once passing through a small town in Germany or in Prague or in Belgium, but then feeling connected, and almost as if on a map there's little pins and then you have a string connecting, pin to pin. That common thread is music, which again is really why music is so special to me, because I think it's really what brings people together.
Okay. And you've spoken about missing life on the road, touring. What do you miss most about it?
I'm not sure if I miss touring so much anymore. Only I love touring. I want to be home with my kids. I did a lot of touring, a whole lot of touring for at least 5 to 10 years of just being in a van, driving across the country, lots and lots of driving and long nights. And all of that was really fun. I got that out of my system, and now I'm content, being here. But I do miss the freedom of the road, just being able to, just pull your car off on some random exit and, find a beautiful state park to walk around in, or a beach that you didn't know existed, and pulling out your guitar and having an inspiration that's new. So I miss that freedom. And I think eventually it'll circle back around. I don't miss it enough to want to necessarily do a lot of big touring right now, but I'm using this time to sort of, reconstruct myself musically, write a bunch of songs, put out some albums, and then once my children are grown, I would consider, or at least older, consider going back on the road. There's just a freedom that comes with being out on the road.
Will there be any plans to maybe be on the road to, on the road, maybe not to tour, but like you just said, just be free, maybe bring your family or something?
Yeah, I play so many shows here locally. I stay very busy. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 nights a week, could be more. And so I just sort of busy myself here, and I really love the community that has been built specifically around the musicians that I play with now, which is sort of a preface into, my band, Heidi and the River Down. We are all friends. We are all songwriters and musicians through and through, and each one of us hold our own musically, but to come together and create something in a collaborative form is really wonderful. So I don't really have the urge to run from that right now. So we've really just been focusing on local communal growth musically, which I love. I'm content in doing that. Again, eventually, I don't mind doing an Asheville run or quick little things here and there. I think that would be ideal, but maybe nothing major. Yeah.
Yeah. And as an independent artist, how important is it to receive local support from local stations like WSGE and even just your community in general?
Well, this is huge. That's what I say. I really appreciate you guys being a part of this and helping us get the word out about the festival and my music, and also, we've got 7 different bands that are going to be playing at Ramble On. So we are all somehow connected musically, and that's really the basis for our band, our indie record label, Downriver Records, and this festival, Ramble On. Everything is community based. So the town of Davidson is a huge part of Ramble On Festival. All of us are coming together to create something in the community, and it's the music that brings us together. So it's huge. I really appreciate you guys having me on here to and supporting local music. That's the root of everything, is starting local.
And we definitely appreciate you for joining us today. Now, you mentioned that you have a small indie rock record label, Downriver Records. So how did that get its start?
So it's all based in friendships that have, for the most part, been in existence for years, if not decades. So we've got Tim Helfrich and Mike Orlando, Billy Jones, myself, Phil Skipper, and Eden Aldridge. Eden is newer to the group, but just as important. We're all collaborating and writing and on the same page together. But as far as friendships go, he's the newer one to the group. Tim Helfrich and Mike Orlando and Billy Jones have known each other for decades. They've been in Davidson, supporting local and building community there. They both own businesses on Main Street in Davidson. Billy Jones has been a staple in Davidson as a musician, and he's taught music, and just they're all very connected in a communal way. So the friendships span over a long period of time, and even with me being gone to New York, which I was gone for almost 2 decades, I came back and we just sort of picked up where we left off with friendships and collaborating musically. And one by one, it sort of felt like this magic was happening, reconnecting through the music. And that's really how Downriver Records was started. Tim Helfrich and Mike Orlando are the co-founders, and they're in the band, and we all have I say stock in it for lack of a better word, but stock is in our hearts. We're all invested as friends as much as we are in the music.
Got you. And we've been mentioning that you'll be performing at the Ramble On Music Festival in Davidson on September 20th. The event is in its 2nd year. Can you share a little bit about how it got its start?
So we made a record last year, and again, that was a collaboration record that sort of spun the idea, I think, for all of us that we could come together and bring this to the stage. And there's enough musicians in this community that wanted to be involved in it, and people are really eager and hungry, I think, to be involved in something locally. And Davidson is just a really wonderful spot. They support it. The town of Davidson supports it. The people support it. I mean, I'm not sure if I've ever really met anywhere so many people that are on board and supportive of what we are doing musically. So we had the space at the Old Car Wash, it's 405 South Main Street, Davidson, at the Old Car Wash. So we had the space to do it. It's a 2.5 acre grassy piece of property. And, Tim and Mike are the ones that sort of pulled this whole thing together, and then we just reached our tentacles out and started talking to people to see who wanted to be involved, and everybody was on board. So we plan on doing this every year and having it be bigger and bigger, but it's rooted in this communal idea that musicians can come together and create something really wonderful.
I think that's great. And can you tell us a little bit about the lineup and what attendees can expect at this event?
Yes, so it's going to be an all-day event. You can bring your children. There will be hands-on interactive arts and crafts. There's local food vendors. There's local beer. There are 7 different bands. We have the Kruger Brothers, who are headlining. They are wonderful, North Carolina-based band. Jonah Horton's True Grass Revival. Jonah's an amazing mandolin player and bass player, and just human being. All of these people are friends of ours as well. So the Grateful Dudes and Paul Bradley Atkinson, the Mike Strauss Big Band, Goodnight Brothers, and Heidi and the River Down. I believe Rusty Knox, who is the mayor and a dear friend of ours, is also going to be opening up, I think, the entire day, right at noon. So it's an all-day long thing. You can come and bring your chairs and have food and drink and let your kids run around, and it goes until 10 p.m. So Heidi and the River Down will go on at the end of the evening. But it's just really fun to see it come together and have a sea of people out in front when we're on the stage there that are coming out to support local. So I hope you guys will come out and join us.
Of course. And where can our listeners find out more about you and any upcoming performances and music releases?
So Downriver Records, we have Instagrams. Each one of us, in the band has an Instagram page, Facebook page, but I also will post who is playing where on my website, HeidiSidelinker.com. Mm-hmm. And I do duos and trios and 4-piece and solo. It's all across the board. So that's a good place to start. to find out where I will be playing. And then Downriver Records, you can check the website there and just sort of find out a little bit more about each person in the band and head over to their Instagram or their Facebook page and see where they're playing as well.
What's the name of that website again for Downriver Records?
DownriverRecords.com.
Okay, cool. Well, I would like to thank you so much, Heidi, for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Sydney. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
I had a lot of fun, too. You've been listening to the Independent Artist Spotlight here on 91.7 WSGE. This is Sydney Darby here with local Carolina artist Heidi Sidelinker. We've been talking about her career as an artist and about some of her new releases. Heidi will be performing at the Ramble On Music Festival in Davidson, North Carolina on September 20th. If you've missed portions of this interview, the link to the podcast is available at WSGE.org. But don't worry, I have more music coming for you. We're going to hear from Maggie Rose and Grace Potter with Poison in My Will right here on 91.7 WSGE.